Thank you for joining me, Ashwin Berry, on NMH at 1 on Friday, the 16th of June, as the world over and Africa in particular celebrates the Day of the African Child. In this lunch hour, we will highlight the news-making headlines in Namibia and beyond, ranging from current affairs to community stories, sports and economic news. Here are the news headlines. Oshakati residents yesterday received free legal advice. Minimum age for obtaining an ID lowered from 16 to 14. African leaders traveled to Ukraine and Russia on a peace mission. Follow all of our programs on oneup2.com or DSTV 285, GoTV 25 in Namibia. Refusing to allow them and accompanying journalists to disembark and continue their journey to Ukraine, where Cyril Ramaphosa is leading a peace mission by African heads of state. The SAA chartered flight with more than 120 people on board reportedly landed in Warsaw's Chopin Airport early on Thursday afternoon. Mr. Ramaphosa's head of security, Major General Wally Rudd, said the Polish government was sabotaging the president's security by not allowing them to disembark. Visual News brings you local stories from across Namibia right after the break. Stay with NMH at 1.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with the entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Let's get into the visual news. Martin Nkumbi, Chief Executive Officer of Development Bank of Namibia and Chair of the 4-day Networking Forum for Development Finance Institutions, speaks about the objectives of the forum and how it will help shape Namibia. Desiree Gasses attended the forum, which took place last week.
That the 4 Namibian development institutions, that is DBN, Agribank, NHE, and the Environmental Investment Fund, they are all members of the SADC DFI networks, and we therefore participate in this what we call DFI CEO Forum. It's a forum that takes place usually when the DFI network meetings takes place. And this forum we use to share experiences, draw lessons from the experience of other DFIs in other member countries, and through that help build capacity of our own institution. So that is really the purpose. And today's topic was about how do we balance development impact, which is usually the mandate of the DFIs, and also remaining sustainable. It was very, very important, for example, today when the discussion was about profit with a purpose or sustainability with a purpose, basically meaning that it is possible for development finance institutions to be able to deliver development impact. In other words, financing those projects that are impacting the livelihood of people but still remain financially sustainable. That it's not sustainability versus impact, but it's impact with sustainability. So that is the lesson that we are drawing from today. So on the question in terms of what is the value add to the Namibian DFIs, obviously we are tapping knowledge, we are tapping experience, we are talking about cooperation, working together with regional DFIs to finance projects not only in Namibia but obviously across the SADC region. There is a recognition that we cannot develop in silos. The whole region need to develop and move in tandem. If we are talking about Namibia being a transport and logistics hub, for example, it is going to be very important that we coordinate the development of transport infrastructure, be it railways, be it roads, be it the port expansion here in Walvis Bay. In terms of untapped, there is always opportunities in all sectors. I do believe, for example, that there is immense opportunities still in agriculture. In Namibia, for example, we can expand our agricultural production for local consumption and possibly for export. There is opportunities also in value adds, be it in pharmaceutical, even just inputs that we are consuming here in Namibia. If you go into specific products, for example, you can talk about poultry. We're still importing part of the poultry products that we are consuming. There is an opportunity to produce them here. So a lot of opportunities do exist in Namibia that can be exploited. They require proper planning, proper skills, and I think appropriate capital, that especially patient capital that is able to take a very long-term view. We talk about this. Young people find it very difficult to access finance because in the space of finance, whenever you're looking for money, whoever is giving you money want to know how would you be able to pay it back. What if you fail? What's my fallback position? Have you got security? Have you got something to put on your table yourself? And then obviously young people don't have that. Now, yes, there's specific interventions needed. We at the DBN, for example, 3 years back introduced what we call a skills-based loan facility. Under that program, the bank is able to advance small loans starting from 50,000 Namibian dollar up to $1 million to young people who have got a specific skill and are able to start a business within the area where they have got that specific skill. So we have financed, for example, pharmacists, we have financed plumbers, and many other VTC or vocational training graduates. And it's a loan program that does not require security, nor does it require the young person to make any significant contribution. So what is important is just the person need to demonstrate that they have the skill to do the kind of business they would like to do. They must then obviously have produced a very clear business plan that is demonstrating practicality and viability, and then they will be able to be assisted under that program.
Oshakati residents yesterday received free legal advice in the town in an exercise organized by the Law Society of Namibia in partnership with the Office of the Ombudsman and the Master of the High Court. The event was held at the Oshakati Town Council Civic Center. Pius Ikwambi, a member of the Law Society, said the regular free legal advice days are part of its objectives to make legal services more accessible to the public, especially considering the costs involved in accessing legal advice.
Legal practitioners, it also comes at a very big fee. So we don't want to just, our members of the Law Society, legal practitioners, to just be seen as those that are just after money, charging. They also go out there and do community service, pro bono services, giving legal advice at no charge. So the Office of the Ombudsman and the Law Society really just came up with this collaborative project, which we have been doing in a number of regions, to basically just afford members of the public this day and a few hours to consult with our members at no charge for whatever questions that you might have from various areas of law. So we are also joined by the colleagues from the Ministry of Labour, the Office of the Labour Commissioner to be specific. So the labour disputes will be handled by them. We also have a representative from the Office of the Master of the High Court. So regarding your estates, inheritance, and all those, she will be.
Drought relief intervention was not provided to registered beneficiaries during their time of need. Namibian Sun highlights the full story in today's newspaper review.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Drought relief intervention was not provided to registered beneficiaries during their time of need, while food was not provided on a monthly basis and in the required amount. These are but some of the findings in a performance audit report on the management of Namibia's drought relief program for the two drought-declared financial years 2015-2016 and 2019-2020, with an extension until March 2022. The program falls under the ambits of the Office of the Prime Minister and the Agriculture Ministry. The minimum age for obtaining an identification document has been lowered from 16 to 14 in the new Civil Registration and Identification Bill. Deputy Home Affairs and Immigration Minister Dr. Daniel Kashikola said this in an introduction statement on the bill in the National Assembly. At 14, a person's biometrics are well developed and therefore fingerprints may be taken at this age. He added that this is also done with the foresight that other biometrics, such as iris and facial recognition, which are possible at a younger age, will be integrated into the identity management system. One of Namibia's largest banks, First National Bank Namibia, has apparently made it clear that it does not accept the 10% increase in monthly contributions from BankMed set to take effect on 1 July, and that it will instead withdraw from the fund. According to sources, if the country's largest bank ditches BankMed, the medical aid fund, which is already reeling, will be forced to liquidate. No decision has been taken yet in this regard, but it is expected that clarity will be provided at the fund's annual general meeting slated for next month. Menzies Aviation Namibia will be allowed to continue ground handling services at Hosea Kutako International Airport for at least the next 3 weeks. That is until they have to return to court to hear if their application for an order compelling Namibia Airports Company to give them more time to evacuate the airport will be approved. This follows after Judge Shafimana Uitele adjourned proceedings until July 4 yesterday. The Namibian Health Insurance Company, which specializes in BankMed members, is in distress. An investigation must determine the feasibility of possibly transferring BankMed members to another health insurance company. Premium increases are one possibility, reports Algemene Zeitung. One of the largest banks in Namibia has reportedly indicated that they will withdraw their members from their health insurance fund if the monthly premium increase is to increase by another 10%. On page 2, AZ reports on the slaughter of the Weimarana Dalton. The dog was stolen last week in Rehoboth, sold, slaughtered and sold as kapana, an act which angered the public. According to the Fund of Civilian Animal Protection Unit Shane Wasafo, it happens more often in Rehoboth that dogs and also cats are stolen, sold, slaughtered and then sold as kapana. Stay with us as we continue with the Namibian after the break.
To another exciting episode of Irongo Talk.
Kies die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik kan byt.
Continuing with the newspaper review, the governor of the Commerce region, Laura McLeod Kashirua, has accused the Windhoek municipality of slowing down the housing delivery of the National Housing Enterprise. During her State of the Region address yesterday, the governor said the NHE has submitted 18 plans for houses which are delayed by the municipality. The plans are part of an informal settlement upgrade plan to construct houses in collaboration with the Chief Executive Officer. There may be some observer residents are assured that the drinking water is suitable for human consumption. Certain neighborhoods will only receive borehole water, while others will receive a mixture of borehole and municipal water. Let's head into the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.22 next to the US dollar, and 23.31 gets you 1 British pound, with 1 Chinese yuan costing you 2.56 Namibian dollars. Most selected NSX stock closing prices maintained their value, with MTC on 7.08 points. Paratus Namibia Holdings made a 0.30% dip along with the local index. However, the overall index closed up 0.25%. Gold and platinum all made upturns of 7 African leaders are traveling to Ukraine and Russia on a peace mission, hoping to bring the war there closer to an end. More on this after the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive.
Are traveling to Ukraine and Russia on a peace mission, hoping to bring the war there closer to an end. But the timing of the visit seems off. It comes just as Kyiv is launching its much-vaunted counter-offensive. The mission is an unusual burst of activism, given Africa's largely hands-off approach to a conflict that many here see primarily as a confrontation between Russia and the West. It is also a rare attempt at diplomatic intervention outside the continent, a welcomed development given Africa's growing demand to have a bigger voice at the UN and other international organizations, says Muriti Mutiga, Africa Director at the International Crisis Group think tank. The delegation will be led by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and includes senior representatives of Egypt, Senegal, Comoros, Uganda, Zambia, and the Republic of Congo. Sub-Saharan Africa experienced a 12% increase in the legal recognition of communal land rights, the highest of any region in the world. Between 2015 and 2020, a new report by the Rights Resources Initiative shows almost all these known increases occurred in Kenya, which approved the Community Land Act in 2016, and Liberia, which passed the Land Rights Act in 2018, which recognized traditional lands. The Democratic Republic of Congo, with all its troubles, passed a historic law supporting the rights of indigenous Pygmy peoples in 2022. The new law can be used alongside the DRC's Forestry Code, adopted in 2020, to advance land rights recognition in the Congo Basin, one of the world's most important ecological resources. The coordinator of the Dynamique des Groupes des Pupils Autochtones, Patrick Saidi, who lobbied for the new law in the DRC, said the legislation would enhance environmental conservation. We'll be heading into international news shortly. The Indian and Pakistani coasts early on Friday. At least 2 people died in India's western state of Gujarat after being swept away by flood waters just before the cyclone. Weather officials said Nabiparjoy had weakened to a cyclonic storm from a severe cyclonic storm on Friday morning, India's meteorological department said in its latest bulletin, with speeds going down from 105 kilometers to 85 kilometer wind speeds, likely to reduce further by afternoon, the bulletin said. Stay with us as we head into local sport, starting with Pakpevitz Junior Athletics.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Let's head into local sport. The Papkevits junior athletics team, consisting of 14 athletes, will represent Namibia over the weekend at the Nike Outdoor Athletics Championships at Hayward Field Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, United States. Henny Horn, a high jump coach from Swakopmund, said the young team's participation will mean an incredible amount to them. We are not here just to win medals, but to open the children's eyes. You can't buy that type of experience, he said. Over recent years, entries into the four-person team category for the Nedbank Desert Dash have sold out in minutes, making it the most sought-after category in the longest single-stage cycling race in the world. Entries open for Nedbank Desert Dash on Monday, with the four-person team category opening for those teams who are brave enough to take on the Namib Desert in this year's Desert Dash. The Nedbank Desert Dash covers 397 kilometers. Two of Namibia's top junior triathlon athletes are leaving for Wales today, where they will train for a week with the Welsh athletes at a high-performance centre in Cardiff. Both Maya Brinkman and Nathan Chase are on the shortlist for the Youth Commonwealth Games, which will take place in Trinidad and Tobago in August. They will be trained by Luke Watson, the Welsh and head triathlon coach. We'll be heading into international sports shortly. "31 riders have been disqualified from the Under-23 Giro d'Italia for cheating after videos emerged showing them holding on to team cars. The so-called Baby Giro descended into farce as the riders were filmed by spectators taking a tow by team vehicles during the summit finish on the infamous Passo del Stelvio. The president of the Eastern Province Rugby Union, Marsdorp Cannon, has been suspended for 2 years from holding any position or participating in any rugby structures under the auspices of the South African Rugby Union, having been found guilty of contravening the SARU Constitution and its Code of Conduct. Japanese football fans are facing a TV blackout for next month's Women's World Cup, with some warning failure to strike a broadcasting deal would be a missed opportunity. The country won the tournament in 2011 and reached the final again 4 years later, but its broadcasters have yet to reach an agreement to televise games before the competition kicks off in Australia and of the men's competition for the first time. Now, if you're just joining us, this is NMH at 1. We'll get into the highlights from today's broadcast right after this.